like a dog with fleas there. I just had my hat on because it's freezing cold out, so my hair is looking kind of goofy. But hey, this is what you get when you get me past what 6 p.m. Welcome, smiles, everyone, smiles. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Welcome. I promised. You asked for it, as I said in my video. You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Folks have been asking for me to do some more evening TikTok lives. So, hello, Trisha. Hello to Lisa, Lucy, Anessa, Gloria, Heidi, Melissa, user 81 in Nashville, Lisa Terry, Lucy, all sorts of folks. All good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah, so folks had asked me. So, I am on the East Coast of the United States. I'm in the state of Pennsylvania. You've got a friend in Pennsylvania. I don't know if it's me, but you've got a friend. And folks have been asking, could I do some a little bit later in the night? So here I am. Now this may be not late to you, but for me to show up, it's here. So yeah, so I'm here, 8:01 in the evening, and welcome. Smiles, everyone, smiles. Come on. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know. To me, however old I am, I was talking to a client of mine who was a teacher. Strangely enough, not strangely, curiously enough to me, is I have a lot of my one-on-one clients. Wait, something's happening with my. Okay. Regardless, hopefully you can hear me. Erin, nice to see you. Hopefully people can see me, and Christy. So some of my one-on-one clients are teachers, and now I can't remember what I was saying that because I got all freaked out because of the fact that the thing wasn't on. There was something I was gonna mention. Oh, it'll come. It'll come back to me. Baby, come back. Catherine's gonna get 5 to 8 inches of snow. No fun. As you may have seen, we didn't get snow here in Pennsylvania where I am, but we got rain like you wouldn't believe. And so we did get water in the basement. It's fine now. It's totally fine. And it ended up being a good thing. Now, trust me, I am not like a Pollyanna to be like, oh, it was great. No, it was a pain in the butt, but here's the cool thing. This made it easier. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to roll with it. All right, here comes the water. What can we do to barrier it up and throw some crappy towels down? I put the crappy towels out to dry today after I get off the thing. I'm going to throw them in the laundry. It's going to happen. So here we are. In case we haven't met before, because I usually don't show up in the evening. Hey, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I am a decluttering life coach. Not Destination Decluttered isn't my last name, but that's the way my coaching is. And yeah, I typically do TikTok lives throughout the day, different times of day, different days of the week. Infrequently, I like to mix it up. I like to keep things varied and interesting because varied makes it interesting for me. And what I like to do is I like to show up and just offer my help. I am a decluttering life coach and I help people with their clutter. So for example, like Mary just put a comment in there. If you have a question, if you're struggling with clutter, I can help you with that. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. I will encourage you. I will empower you to remind you you can do something about what's bugging you clutter-wise and otherwise, okay? So Mary is saying, Mary Jean, my friend hired me to declutter her home office. It's loaded with 10 years of paperwork, okay? And how cool is this? 10 years is 3 years past the typical limit of the need to keep certain papers for your taxes. And just notice that you can, there's 3 years there, 7 years. It's going to be scary to realize what the 7 years past this is like, what, 2016, 2017? Crazy how that feels like it was just a minute. But know that you can work from the oldest stuff. The new stuff maybe you want to keep for taxes and different reasons, but that's wonderful that Mary, it's wonderful what a friend you are. And what a neat relationship you have that your friend feels comfortable and safe with you for you to help her with that. I say her, I'm inferring it to her. Maybe you read it. Okay, her office, yes. So that's awesome. You're being a good friend to her. So that is wonderful. Keep on rocking. If you need any encouragement, motivation, or things like that, I'm here for you, okay? I just noticed, Catherine, you said you're battening down the hatches. We're stopped up and planning to paint the dresser I found. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Talking about battening down the hatches, this room that I'm sitting in now used to not look like this. I know I've shared pictures before. I'll have to do that again sometime. This room hadn't been painted since we moved into the house when the COVID lockdown hit, and so we moved everything out of this room. This used to be the room. The room that's now my office used to be the room. It was still my office, but it was the place that we would pitch everything. What we called the pitch and ditch room. If we had people coming over that we didn't know what to do with our stuff, we would pitch it in this room, shut the door, pray nobody looked in the door. But then during COVID, we moved everything out, and then I was really strategic with what I put back in, and I have such fewer things. It's so much easier to take care of. It's one of the things I wanted to share with you is when you declutter, it's kind of like a math problem. You have fewer items in your home, so fewer items you have to deal with and take care of. There we go. I love it. Kia is saying, hey, I'm sweeping the garage, and here you are. Yeah, there you go. Here I am. User 5204, you're welcome for going live in the evening. Thank you for letting me know that you appreciate it. As I said, I am an early bird. I was up early this morning. I woke up early, and I had thoughts going through my head, and I said, you know what? I should just get up and start working. I used to do that a lot more. I'm getting kind of more luxurious in my old age, so I like to stay in bed until I decide to get up. But I got up early today and I did some good stuff that had been kind of hanging over my head. But I also promised that I would show up and do a TikTok live here. Okay. Robin just says, I just started a good stuff journal. Awesome. Right here. Right here. Grab yourself a notebook that you're psyched about. I used to actually, here's my good, I have two of them right now because I filled one up. I filled one up with stuff that I'm grateful that I did. Little things every day. And, you know, it's like, okay, here, February 2021. I shared a nice Phoenixville moment on Facebook. I felt good about how all of this is going. I did a consultation with somebody. I wrote and submitted a Valentine's article to the Preservation Pennsylvania. I rocked, and so do you. Okay? There we go. Christine, I'm glad you have me keeping you company while you're folding laundry. I will offer this to everybody. In case you haven't seen me, again, Decluttering Life Coach, but folks who see me during the day, many times people say, hey, you know what? It really helps. I don't feel so alone or bored. I can listen to you like a podcast while I am going around my house doing some what I call like surface clutter decluttering. So if you have some surface clutter decluttering, maybe it's doing the dishes, maybe it is wiping down the table or the counters or putting stuff away. The stuff that doesn't require a lot of thought because you already know where the things are, feel free to put your phone down and just listen to me. And you don't have to look at the screen to get the value of what I'm offering for you, okay? So I just wanted to mention that, okay? Because that can be, just think of it, in 52 minutes from now, you will have engaged yourself. It'll be like, oh, this is not bad. And then you're like, oh, my house looks better. And then you can get in your pajamas and go to bed. There we go. All right. I love this. Okay. Mary Jean is saying it's a huge job, the office. Things are scooting by me here. Notice when you say it's a huge job. That could be a fact, but be mindful. Be mindful of how you talk to yourself and do not overwhelm yourself. Notice that the words you use, both the ones that come out of your mouth and the ones that stay up here but talk to you anyway, am I right? Those can make you feel a certain way. You can say, I rock, and you might feel like I rock. You can also say, I suck, and you may feel like you suck. It's only words in your head, and you can change those at any time. So I say this, I love it, Mary. They're saying, I love it. It's a huge job. She's overwhelmed. I love it. So yes, I love when there are other people that we can help. You and I are the kind of people that know how to manage the overwhelm and can help people. Now, I will share this. It's a lot easier to help somebody else with their clutter because you can't hear the stories. You can't hear the stories that their stuff is telling them because it only speaks to them. There we go. Okay, MJR007 is just saying, tell me about the Good Stuff Journal. So I did, for the people on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, this past Sunday, I did a free workshop on what I call breeze blocking. This is the method I use to really just transform my life, and it's as simple as it's a more fun, more casual, more human-centered approach to time blocking which can be very regimented and very, like very militant. Nah. Mine's more like, chilling out and putting some space in between the stuff so you get the stuff done and you have some fun. And what I encourage you to do is your brain is going to try to discourage you. When you're decluttering, it's going to say, oh, you're not making any progress. This is hard. Give up. Don't change. Don't go changing. And what I say is, if what you want to change into is something better than what you have now, if you want to change the way your home looks and feels and focuses, or looks, feels, and functions like, you're going to need encouragement every day to show up and even just do a little smidge, or even the little smidge you do every day is going to be changing your habits. So what I recommend, and this is what I do myself, I was filling it up before I got here, get a nice notebook, a good one. Don't do your everyday scribbly scribs in something like this. Do that in, something like this, right? That you can tear and scribble in. This is the book of My Life Rocks. This is the book of good stuff. This is your gratitude journal. You're on a destination. You're on a road trip from here to there. And what are the milestones you hit? And it can be big, it can be small. But when you remind yourself every day of the good stuff in your life, more good stuff becomes apparent in your life. Okay? It's as simple as that. Gratitude journal, whatever. But I would not recommend it. Trust me. Well, you don't have to trust me, but I will say, I know me enough to know I will never have you do something that I don't do myself. That would be ridiculous. That would be insincere and fake and all those things that I don't want to be, okay? I do this myself. It helps, so I come onto TikTok and I say, hey, try this, see if it's going to work, okay? Trisha's saying, you've helped me see things differently. The other night, my husband noticed my efforts. Awesome, awesome. So much of what we're doing right now, this is decluttering, and this is decluttering from like my heartfelt life coach approach, because it's not as easy as, or it's not as simple as, take this thing, put it here, or buy a bunch of bins. What I want you to do is to look at what you're doing from a different perspective. You look at it head on. This is what I've always done, but you look at it from the side. Oh, did you notice that every time I come in the house, I have a habit of dumping my coat on the floor when I come in the back door, because typically every time I come in the house, I have to pee. Truth. I'm a lady of an age, okay? But I say this because then I go and I do hang it up. But notice if you have habits that you put stuff down and you don't put it away in a short amount of time. You can notice your habits and say, hey, oh, you know what? I just totally am in the habit of doing that. You can stop the habits that aren't working for you and then kind of pave over them with more helpful habits that get you where your home is looking and feeling and functioning like you want it to. Okay, so you're welcome. I love it. German Made 95 said posted more items on the Facebook free page and got rid of a bunch of jewelry and cookbooks. Now, I love that. And I don't know if it's I personally have gotten rid of a lot of that myself because I realized I don't wear a lot of jewelry. So what am I not wearing? Let's pass it on to somebody who will. Cookbooks, same thing. I used to love, what's the word I want to use? I used to love collecting vintage cookbooks with the wacky, pictures in them and the goofy, oh my God, look at what they made of gelatin. And I still have some of those in the kitchen, but a bunch of them I realized it was fun to get them and flip through them, but I don't cook, and if I cooked, I probably wouldn't use those recipes. So I have weaned down my collection greatly about that. So it's okay, everybody, it's okay to, at one point in your life, and even today, to have stuff in your home that brings you joy, that lights you up, that you have fun with, that you find it useful. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh my God, I think I'm singing the Jeffersons theme song right now in my head. Moving on up, right, to the east side. Now I totally distracted myself. I apologize. The stuff in your house that makes you go, yay, green light in my heart. Ooh, I love this. This is great. Something as simple as, like a little salt shaker that has a little top on it. So you go like this and it doesn't do, Then you have other things that make you go, ugh, like a used Kleenex. Ugh, gross. I want to get rid of that. The stuff that tends to jam people up is the stuff that's in the middle. And I'll clue you in on this. See if this rings true to you, or at least consider this. I don't want to say you have to believe it, But take this idea, run it through your filter, and just see how this feels. Is the stuff that you're hanging on to that's clutter is the stuff that your gut is saying get rid of, but your head is telling it not to. There's like, you can't do that because it paid good money. You can't do that. Somebody gave it to you. You can't do that because what if you never have one ever again? What if you might need it someday? Your gut is like, I never use this. We should give it away. And your head runs interference on it. So it's so interesting. Okay, Danzel58. I started to work on my office on your live New Year's Day, and I'm still working on it. Don't do this. Go like this. Yay. Yay. Think of how much better it looks and feels right now than it did just, I'm looking at my calendar here because I don't even know what day it is, than it did just 11 days ago. Okay? It's kind of like, it's either Rome wasn't built in a day. It's like trying to lose weight. You didn't gain it overnight. You didn't gain it in 11 days. It didn't take only 11 days to mess up your office. So of course it's going to take longer than 11 days to undo it. But you are so much more ahead of the game. Live your life like a road trip towards a destination you're excited to get to, and remind yourself of not that I'm not there yet, but how far you have come when you show up every day and do a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now this is interesting. Peaches says, my home has a room of requirement. I'm interested in that. I do not know what it is. Stuffed animals. Somebody says stuffed animals. Okay. Stuffed animals are an interesting thing. And I have a client actually who's got some stuffed animals that she's asking her daughter if she wants and things like that. Now, you might want to, a couple of things you can do with any of the stuff that you have in your life. I will even broaden it a bit. Any of the stuff that you have in your life that you no longer want, if it is usable, look for places in your own life where you can easily give, donate, sell, free table. There are many stops along the way between you not wanting it and having to put it in the trash. Now, that being said, yeah, somebody just said stuffies hold a lot of germs. Catherine just said that. Yes, and I agree. And that's one of those things you will need to, you will be best served by Googling a little bit about where you want to donate someplace things. Some people do not accept stuffed toys. Other places do. Your mileage may vary. To be on the safe side, if you know you want to get rid of them, maybe spray them with Lysol to kill some germs so you feel bad about it. Okay? So get curious about what you can do with it. And if it isn't anything official, like, I don't know, Goodwill doesn't take stuffed animals. Maybe there's a place that's more local. Maybe there's a shelter. Maybe somebody in your neighborhood has no toys. Trust that there is a place for them and let it appear. It will appear, okay? And Catherine, yes, mentioned, the kind of germ thing. Okay, donate the stuffed animals. Yes, you can donate them. Sometimes you can. Yep, shelters, nursing homes, favorite charity, all sorts of good stuff. Ooh, Gigi Gina mentioned, I have a steam dryer that I tumble the stuffed animals in. The zoo takes stuffed animals. See, this is so cool, okay? Check this out, people. Look what a great group of people we have here. This happens all the time. I love it. I don't want to wake up the trolls because we always have such an awesome group of people here. And you know why I say that? Is because you're celebrating your wins, you're cheering each other on, we're cheering each other on. I have my idea that I'm speaking, but in the comments, you're giving your help too, even though you're struggling, okay? Dog pounds, what else was it? Yeah, my daughter won't part with many of her stuffed animals. She's still at 27. Tricycle. Interesting. That's cool. Everybody has their own idea of what they want to keep and what they are willing to and ready to get rid of. If your daughter's 27 and she lives in her own house, she can keep as many stuffies as she likes. If she's in your house and she has a wicked lot of stuffies and they're getting in the way, that's another combo. Okay. Oh, that's right. So sounds like Sid says, planning on intentionally cleaning and decluttering this 3-day weekend. I kind of forgot it was a 3-day weekend because I work for myself. Any tips you'd recommend? Hells to the yeah. And this is going to help you. It's going to help everybody right here. Simple, 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 simple. Keep it simple. Couple of wicked easy things is establish your destination. Now, I think everybody here on this TikTok Live you have a destination decluttered. Your destination is I want my home decluttered. But there are specifics for each one of us. You have certain rooms, you have certain amounts of clutter, you have certain things that are specific to your situation, but get specific about, to give yourself a measurable something to look forward to. You may not get the whole house done. Do not overpromise and then get bummed out when you underprovide. If anything, flip it. Set the bar low so that you reach it and then you say, yes, that was great. More, please. Okay? So define your destination. Get excited about how your place is going to look and feel and function when you've done this. The other thing is many of us do this, especially when we work during the week and we're exhausted after work, or we get up early and all that stuff, and we say, I can't do anything during the week. However, I'm going to make up for it on the weekend. Again, much like trying to eat healthy, you can't say I'm going to eat pizza every day of the week, even though technically I've had it twice in a row this week. But then me eating salads all weekend doesn't really make up for it. So remember the benefit of getting little bits of good stuff into your life every freaking day. And I say that because if you've got a whole 3-day weekend, you go into it thinking you're going to kick the world's patootie and get so much done, but you're going to get tired. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to be your energy, your energy tank, your capacity to make decisions is going to empty out, and you're going to want to be done. So start small, chunk things down. Do surface clutter first. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental. Do the easy peasy things first. Do the things that are the biggest things that are taking up the most space. Get some easy wins under your belt. Have fun with it to build your muscle, to get used to stretch and say, oh, I can do this. Look, this is making a difference. I feel better already. Get rid of one layer and then celebrate. Then get rid of another layer and celebrate. And whatever you do, decluttering, celebrate. I'm all about celebrate good times. Come on. Celebrate whatever you're doing. Do not beat yourself up about what you didn't do. Celebrate what you did do. Okay? Couple of easy things there. And yeah, celebrate. Sounds like Sid. No matter what you got done, if it's when it becomes Monday night and you're saying, oh, I have to go back to work, congratulate yourself. Take pictures. Run a marathon. Walk around. Be proud of it. Check out those places. Notice how it feels. Notice how it feels. Everybody, notice how it feels in your body when you're surrounded by clutter. And then notice the difference in how it feels in your body when you are in a less cluttered space. It is amazing, the difference. Okay? Notice that. So this is so funny. Abbott Elementary, I got to share. I've only seen your name here on my TikTok lives because I pretty much am oblivious to much pop culture. And where were we last night? I can't remember. Oh, we were out with some friends and we were at a place that has TV screens on it. I was like, oh, that's funny. There's like a TV show or something called Abbott Elementary. I know somebody's name on TikTok is that. Just that I mentioned that. Oh, okay. Christine Gormley 71. Let's see here. My sister was born. My sister who also has sold Pyrex. Okay, how about this? Vintage Pyrex, sell or donate. You know some of it's worth money, and you get to decide. Because you just said, don't want the drama and time expense. So if you don't want the drama and time expense, feel free to donate it. Or here's a couple of other ideas. Do you know somebody? You may know somebody. There may be somebody in your immediate circle or your neighborhood who might collect it. So instead of donating it, you could give it to somebody. It's like the same thing pretty much because you're not making money from it. But you could easily offer it to somebody you know. Hey, does anybody know anybody who collects Pyrex? I've got a bunch here, have it. You could do that. The other thing too is think about it. If you know places that you want, if you like to donate, this is what I do. I am lucky enough in my town to have a place that I feel good about donating things to. I rarely donate things anymore because I've gotten to such a good level of stuff. But when I had things that I knew were worth money, can't get rid of it, it's worth money, and I didn't freaking feel like selling it myself, the Historical Society in my town does a regular kind of yard sale, and then they do like an online auction and things like that. And so I would give them the good stuff that I knew they could make money from because I wanted them to get the money from it. So think of a place you might want to donate it that you feel good about. They may auction it off and that might help. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Abbott Elementary, SOS, feeling about a kitchen junk drawer. Just emptied mine and overwhelmed. Okay, this is what you do. Categorize it. Go and have fun. Make it a game. Play matchy-matchy. Remember that game you used to play? I can picture myself playing this with my cousins at my grandmother's house in the sitting room with the permanently set up card table, and we would play concentration. She would have like 2 packs of cards, and we would lay them out upside down so they were all feeling like this, and you would flip one and you'd flip another, and then you couldn't remember and you'd flip one, and then, ooh, I got a match. The human brain loves to pattern match. So Abbott Elementary, have some fun. Do I have any forks here? Oh, look, here's a pile. Here's a fork. Any more forks? Oh, here's another fork. Pile of forks. How many knives do I have? How many spatulas you're going to find out? How many duplicates of things can you categorize? Then you get curious and say, do I use all these things? You know, like my husband just recently, because he cooks in the house more than I do. And he recently he wanted a wire whisk because the one that we had was kind of rusty. It was this one, I swear to God, I had it since like 1992. And it had like a little plastic, Pillsbury Doughboy on the top, but we had used it so much it was getting rusty and junky. Well, when he went to go buy a new metal whisk online, it came in a set of 3. Do we need 3? They're 3 different sizes. We'll use them, but it does take up space. So just notice the multiples and see, do you need them? Okay? Do not overwhelm yourself. Okay? And if you get overwhelmed, put the stuff back in the kitchen drawer and get back to it when you have the physical, mental, emotional, nervous system capacity to do it. Nobody says you have to do it on an empty stomach. You're going to make so much better decisions when your decision-making gas tank is full. Your cognitive abilities wane with every decision you make every day. That zaps you of a little, your tank lowers. So that's why at the beginning of the end of a day, you're probably like, I can't even make a decision. But the next day after some sleep, maybe you're making some better ones. Okay? All right. How to cope with the feeling of letting materials go that do not serve us. Embrace it. Embrace the freedom of releasing what does not serve you in your life. And this isn't just clutter. This is opportunities. This is people. This is food. This is whatever. You can do something about it. Now, notice that you're saying cope with the feeling. So I have a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. I have a feeling that you're feeling feelings that are either making you feel uncomfortable or unusual. Everybody, I am a life coach. I purposely got my certification because I noticed when I began coaching prior to having my certification how much emotion and feelings are part of why we hang on to stuff, but also that can also be a part of why we can make it easier to release things. Okay? Okay. Let me back up here. Love this. Bury Girl, Connecticut, Waterford, China, sell. Do a Google search. See if anybody's buying it. How much do you want to get for it? Sadly, that some of the stuff that we often, or older generations, here's my take on it. Older generations used to think that the stuff in the dining room was the stuff to save. The china, the silver plate, the crystal. Some of that may still be of value to some people. I'm not making blanket statements, so that's why I say do your research. See what patterns you have. See if your silver is silver plate or is it sterling silver. See if your crystal is Waterford or Mikasa or something. Listen to me, I'm like Mikasa because I used to work for them. So I'm like, that was just fancy glass. Notice that some of it may be worth some money, but back in the day, that was the expensive stuff. Nowadays, as you said up thread, somebody likes Pyrex. The modern generation tends to pay big money for stuff that they would find more like in grandma's kitchen. Okay, there we go. All right, Phoenix for Fire is saying it's amazing, loving the late night live. Okay, there we go. That's why I'm here. I'll do some more. I promise. I don't know when, but I will. Okay, what else we have? It's exhausting. I set a timer. Mary Jean, yes, I love that you said that. A timer. Okay, this is actually a clock. Pretend it's a timer. You have a timer on your cell phone. Use it all over the place. If you aren't feeling particularly motivated about doing something, set a timer for a short amount of time and just say, I'm going to start when the timer starts. I'm going to set it for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. And when the timer goes off, I allow myself to stop and I celebrate the fact that I showed up. That's a one way of using your timer. Or you can say, hey, that wasn't so bad. I may keep going, but at least it got you started. So much of what I help you with, if you think about it, is getting you going from inertia and stop to started, to turning on your engine to go from neutral to from park or neutral into drive and driving in the right direction. Okay? EKBPM is saying, how do you declutter young children's toys? My mom gifts my daughter something every time she sees her. Okay. Notice that you've got two generations. Are we not all the sandwich generation right here? You've got your mom. Every time she sees something, she buys it for your daughter. Then you've got your daughter, who's probably feeling overwhelmed by a lot of toys. I mean, who doesn't want, but kids can get overwhelmed. We live in an overwhelming society. Have a conversation with your mom to, with love, ask her to chill on the gift giving a bit. She can do other things. Maybe she takes her out for a walk. Maybe they go to a museum, or doing something that does not add to the clutter in the home. But then also, decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is a life skill, and I say this because it is a decision-making process that you say, what is this thing? Do I want it in my life or not? And if I say, no, I don't want it, that it's okay to let it go. If we all learned this when we were growing up, I wouldn't be talking on TikTok right now. None of us would be here. We'd all be living in, not cluttered homes. But we didn't learn certain skills growing up. We didn't learn how to easily let go of things. And many of us didn't learn how to put away things once they were coming out. So have a conversation with both situations, and it's worth it. The uncomfortable conversation is what's keeping you stuck. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Sounds like such a thing you would embroider on a pillow, but I just say it's worth it to speak up and change stuff. Okay, there we go. Yeah, notice how it feels. There we go. And notice the stress and anxiety you have, EKBPM. You are worth having this conversation with your mom, because you don't deserve to hear. She doesn't do it to stress you out and give you anxiety. She comes from a place of love, but she doesn't maybe realize that it's stressful. Let her know. Okay? There we go. Yeah. Okay, and I love it. Burry Girl is saying, my mom died last year. I'm so sorry to hear that. I decluttered my house because I don't want to put my daughter through it. Yeah. Same thing here. I don't have kids. My husband and I happily unkid-like. And, well, we're childlike ourselves, so we don't need any kids. I have really decluttered my home because I know that as a niece, or a grandniece really, I helped declutter my grandmother's house, my great aunt's house. I've helped my mother sell houses. My dad died. This is something I've done for my entirety of my life, and I don't want to burden somebody else with my stuff, because here is I don't want to say a harsh truth, that's not how I roll, but this is something to think about. Nobody is going to love your stuff as much as you do. They may like some of it because it reminds you of them, or maybe you have a legit connection where you both collect something, but nobody that you know is going to love your stuff as much as you love your stuff. So make it easy on them when you're gone. I'm not saying empty out your house now. Like my mother, for example, I think of this and I think she's got a whole corner cupboard filled with, what is it, Wedgwood? China, that was my grandmother's, like my dad's grandmother's. And I know at some point it's probably going to come to my house, but she doesn't need to clean it out now, because then she'd be living in a house with an empty corner cupboard, and she's going to be around for another 10 years, God willing, 15, 20 years. So you don't have to do it now. You don't have to do the decluttering of the stuff right now. This is where the decluttering starts. In your noggin, boop, 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 in your head. Your thoughts about your stuff, your decisions about the stuff. I had a conversation with Mom, and I said, hey, I know this is kind of awkward, but you know what? When you're gone, can I have the china? And she's like, yeah, sure. Pam already has hers. Katie doesn't have china, yada, yada. Boom, done. She doesn't have to move the stuff right now because the decision has already been made and we talked about it. Okay? There we go. Mama Kimbo's put my stuff on neighborhood. That's good stuff. Okay, see, Cat Mama, we're all the same things. Neighborhood Facebook page for free. So many others do it now too. Yeah, we are all of a generation. And just notice this too. We had lives before, we have all had decades worth of life at this point. And different things in different decades meant something to us. Between the ages of 1 and 10, things were important to us. Between 10 and 20, there were certain things that were important to us. 20 to 30, there were things in our life that were important to us. You may age out of certain ones. The stuff that was important to you between ages of 0 and 10 are probably different items that are important to you when you're between 50 and 60. That's okay. That means you're evolving as a human. You're not still eating pablum out of a little Gerber baby jar and drinking out of a bottle and sitting in diapers. Well, at a certain point, we're probably all going to do that at the other end of life, but that's for another topic. I say this because it's okay to evolve out of the stuff you have. And it's just part of life. We're all going through it, and we live in a society that encourages you to over-purchase, that purchasing things and things are going to make you happy. And up to a certain point, that can be true. If you come from nothing and you have something, you feel good, you feel better, because nobody wants to be hungry. You want to feel full, but what you don't want to feel is too much. Oh, now I feel bloated, I'm overwhelmed, I'm drowning in this stuff, I feel suffocated. When you have too much, that's above the just right set point. And everybody's set point of just right is different from other people. You've got minimalists, you've got maximalists. I want to encourage you to discover the stuff in your home that you really like and the stuff that just doesn't do it for you. And say, I deserve to live in a home surrounded by only the things I love. And if there's something that makes me feel meh or ugh, I'm happy to give it away to somebody else. Okay? That's what I do. There we go. Pretty Patty is saying, as I'm listening, I'm purging a box full of paper stuff. Rock on. All right. There we go. Ron Bizarre says, my stuff is causing me anxiety, so my doctor's solution is counseling. Yes, that's a great idea. That is. I do my counseling light because I'm a life coach, but notice how counseling does the same thing. You talk about what's going on. When you talk about something, when you articulate it, you are required by law, you are required to create a sentence in your head that ostensibly will make sense to another human being when it comes out of your mouth so that you're communicating. When you do that, you get clarity on what you're actually thinking because you have to say it out loud. And then you have an opportunity once you've said it. I always encourage people to write down these things because you can just, you don't have to involve anybody else, and it's not, and say, is that really true? If I believe that, does that help me live the life I want, or is it getting me stuck in a life I don't want? There we go. Stacy Babbage says, as I'm listening, I'm emptying a bowl of ice cream. I hope it's into your spoon, into your mouth, into your belly. That sounds delicious. Yeah. Okay. Do not be afraid to tell your doctor or whomever who is in your life about the clutter. And I say this because, especially in hoarding is a DSM-5 mental health diagnosis. So there are people out there who are trained mental health professionals that can help people when they are on the hoarding spectrum. Now, I'm not saying that you are, but it like the stuff in your house reflects something about you. And if it's a bit out of whack, it could indicate, I'll be honest with you, many of my clients have been discovered, maybe they're around my age, between 45 and 65, that they are being diagnosed with ADHD. That the inability to focus, so you forget or you get blindness to the stuff in your house, may be indicative of you having ADHD. Now, that's not a label. It's just something that if you know about that, then you can start to find solutions that are going to help a brain like that. Okay? There we go. Amy is saying, I love your content and your YouTube reposts. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for mentioning the YouTube reposts, because I haven't done a little just break right now. And I just want to mention that couple things. One is one of the reasons why I read the questions out loud and then provide context is not only for the people who are, folding the laundry and doing the dishes, is because I do repost the recordings of these. Oh, thank you for the flowers. Very nice. I do repost recordings of all of my TikTok lives at Destination Decluttered on YouTube. This is so if you just kind of came across me, but you don't have time to listen, or you want some encouragement, somebody to kind of body double with, that's an ADHD thing, that there is a recording available for you to just listen to as you go around and declutter your home. You'll pick up some tips and tricks. You'll realize you're not alone. And you'll notice if you listen to any of them with any frequency, the same things come up all again. We are all in this together, people. Okay? The other thing, too, I feel like I should do just a quick shout out. If you like what you're hearing, please follow my TikTok page, Destination Decluttered. I'm Beth. That helps get the word out to more people when I have more followers. When I do lives often. There are different times of the day and different days of the week, pretty much every week. Sometimes you won't see me for a while. Oh, I got some origami. Wicked nice. Thank you. I do occasionally go off the digital grid because I travel. Sometimes I show up when I'm traveling. Sometimes I don't. If I do a pop-up, I pop up. And if I don't, I always schedule TikTok Live, so you don't have to worry about that. The other thing, too, really quickly, especially because I'm just saying this, I bet the people whose names I recognize, like Annalise and Pixel Pickbull, there we go, saying, unlike morning lives, I'm laying down and resting now. Yay. Yay. Everybody, take care of yourself. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. Did a lot of shredding yesterday and garage a bit. Rock on, lady. So there are people's names who pop up, so who know me, who are going to be like, oh, she's going to tell people about the mailing list again. But if you've never met me before and you like what I'm doing, I just want to let you know, I also do one-on-one coaching. I do it via Zoom, so I have clients from all over the country. And the easiest way to learn more about that is to go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com. Also, I have a mailing list. The mailing list, we do all sorts of free stuff. Next week, we have a free group Zoom call that I'm doing. I've also done workshops. I did a couple of those. And the people on the mailing list learn all about the new stuff long before anybody else. When I'm doing TikTok Lives, if there's consultations available on my calendar, free stickers, anybody? I know some of you sent self-addressed stamped envelopes and got your free stickers. I have some left. If you're on the mailing list, you know what I'm talking about. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, get on the mailing list. All right? There we go. Inesso804 says, saw one of your videos, started with using a box for mail, keep it in one place. Rock on. There you go. I love it. Mel Farrell says, yes, I'm going to a psychologist to get formally diagnosed now at 62. I have a couple of thoughts about ADHD and our brains. I just want to encourage everybody. Much like snowflakes falling down from the sky, everybody's brain is different from everybody else's brain. I truly believe that everybody's got a bit of ADHD, that some people hide it better than others because they're afraid of not seeming normal. What I want to encourage everybody to do, and this is how I coach, this is how I have learned to do things in a way that work for me, that get the results I want, the life I want, in a way that feels good and easy and fun and simple. And I work with my brain. However my brain works, I use the tools that I have, and I use them so they work with my brain, not against it. Do not try to fit yourself a round peg into a square hole. One size does not fit all. Square pegs, square pegs, square pegs. Doesn't mean that, just you can do things that work with how your brain works. Okay, yeah. Lalu, I'm 55 and I figured out over the last few years that I have ADHD. It's been eye-opening. Yeah. It's great to realize how your brain works so you can work with it, not against it. I love it. Robin is saying the more I declutter, the lower my anxiety level and stress. Yes, my dears, this is why I show up. Sure, it's nice that your house is going to look good. I'm not Martha Stewart. I'm not going to come with I'm going to write you a ticket because your house is messy. I do this because I want you to feel better. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel better. And I pretty much know that when people's homes are cluttered to a point where they're tuning in to my TikTok lives, they're doing that because they don't feel good in their cluttered home. It's gotten to a point where it was okay, and then it got worse and worse and worse, and okay, and now it's too much. I want to help you just, get rid of that too much feeling so you feel kind of like Goldilocks, just right. Not too hot, not too cold, just right for you. All right? That's why I do what I do. Okay, here we go. A decluttered space reflects a cluttered, there's so many, it's so funny because somebody, a cluttered mind is is a creative mind, things like that. To me, everybody's level of comfort with clutter is going to be different. Clutter becomes clutter when it inhibits you from doing the things you want to do. Clutter becomes clutter when it affects your negatively, it affects your mood. Clutter becomes clutter when it affects your mental health, your stress, your physical health, your stress on your body, your blood pressure. Clutter is clutter that you want to, that you might want to think of when it affects your personal relationships. When your house is so cluttered that you don't invite people over, or somebody stops by and you get freaked out because you don't want to show them in the house. Clutter becomes clutter when all you're doing is thinking about decluttering, but you're not doing it. Or you're saying, I can't go out and play on the weekend because I have to declutter my house, yet I'm always decluttering. It's never just done and easily maintained. It's always piling up again. There are many places where clutter isn't just about how your home looks to Martha Stewart. It's your career, your creativity, how you spend your time, how you spend your money, your overall quality of life. If your overall quality of life is negatively affected by the stuff in your house, that, my dear, is the definition of clutter. The stuff that gets in the way of you living a life you want to live. Okay? Yeah, and oftentimes we don't even realize, I say yeah, and I meant to say, because Trisha's saying, I didn't realize how much the clutter affected myself and my family until I decluttered. Because you're used to it. You don't know anything different. If you grew up in a cluttered household, if you were never taught how to clutter, if you grew up with a collector family, a mentality of collect stuff and we have money, or it's going to make us happy to collect things. It'll, you don't realize how good it can feel to have less until you experience that. But I'm here to tell you, you will feel better when you have fewer items. And I'm not saying get rid of the stuff you care about. No, no, no. Get rid of the stuff you don't care about and notice how that feels. Okay? Dan Zills 58 is saying, what about kitchen things that we think we might use someday, but don't use often? Get cool with your version of how often do I use it. Should we donate those? I really don't like the word should. Because I want to empower you to do what feels right to you. Now, I know, for example, I have a drawer in my kitchen. It's the bottom drawer. I don't go into it often, and there's some things in there that I use infrequently. I've got like one of those old egg beaters, like an old 50s egg beater. I've got a rolling pin. I can't remember the last time I rolled anything with a rolling pin. A couple of random stuff like that. I guess in theory, or even in practice, I could get rid of them, but I might need them someday, and they're really not. I don't need the space for anything else. It's a good level. It works for me. Now, if these items were getting in the way of space I needed for stuff I use more frequently, I might revisit that. You know your life. You know your level of clutter that you feel comfortable with. You know what you use. You know what your storage spaces are. Everybody's different. I am here to allow you to examine what works for you and what makes you feel good, both in the how it looks and how it feels and how it functions. Notice how those three things. Consider, does this thing positively or negatively affect how my house looks? Does this thing positively or negatively affect how I feel? Does this thing positively or negatively affect how my home functions? Is this getting in the way so I can't find my keys? Is this, I can never find my chapstick, so I had to buy another chapstick? Whatever it is. Okay? Yeah. I love it. Working on letting things go, even though I spent good money on that. Does anybody ever spend bad money on things? I spent good money on that. I spent bad money on that. As human beings in a capitalist society who are encouraged every way, shape, or form. TikTok shop, for crying out loud. We are encouraged to solve our problems via credit cards, via buying stuff. Now, trust me, do you notice I don't live in a monastery? I'm not a monk with nothing. I got stuff. I go shopping. But what I do right now is I shop to solve problems like, oh, I've run out of butter. Oh, I need to, what is something? We really need to replace the filter on the wet dry vac because when we took it out to use the wet dry vac, when the house got flooded, we realized how gross it was. But So for the rest of your life, you will be buying things, you will be bringing items into your house saying, I hope this works for me. I hope this does what I hope it's going to do. Sometimes it does. Yay, you keep it. Sometimes it doesn't. The sooner you realize something isn't working for you and you can effortlessly or with very little effort get it out of your house, the more your home is just surrounded by the right amount of stuff that works well for you. Okay? So just notice that. And Sally, I see you talking about dealing with the death of your mom. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. It is a tough thing. What you've hit upon, especially because we're talking about clutter, is probably about the stuff that makes you feel feelings about your mom. Good, bad, all the feels. You've got surface clutter. Everybody, we start with surface clutter. That's the stuff that if I'm doing this TikTok live and you're doing, as I joked earlier, or I misspoke, folding the dishes and washing the laundry, folding the laundry and doing the dishes. You've got surface clutter. Then you've got stored clutter, stuff behind doors and drawers, your kitchen drawers, for example. Then you've got sentimental clutter. Now, sentimental clutter could be out scattered around the place, could be packed away in boxes, but it's the stuff that when you see it, it makes you feel a feeling because it tells you a story. Okay? And that is the one that takes the most energy and effort in feeling because it makes you feel things, and we are humans, we are not robots. So in order for us to make decisions, we need to feel feelings. Okay? All right. There we go. I love it. Annalisa is saying, if I'm having difficulty deciding what to keep or toss, I move on to easier decisions. Yes, I have a table down my basement that had different things on it for years, and I was like, not ready, don't know what. And then this year I was able to make some decisions. It felt right. I love it. Mel Farrell says, my friend and I went for coffee today and talked about decluttering. We talked about the decrapifying tour. Yes, notice that when you declutter, it's not the good stuff, it's the crap. It's the crap in your house, right? Buying feels like a blanket and I have too many. A blanket can give you warmth when you're cold, but too many blankets can suffocate you and make you feel heavy and weighted down. Am I right? I think I'm right. I talk about this stuff a lot. And I also know what it's like to be freezing cold and put a blanket on me and then have a hot flash and be like, oh my God, get this thing off of me. I'm dying. So I know that feeling. Yeah. Loss comes with clutter and it's very difficult to push through. Do not push yourself through the loss. Do not push yourself. Treat yourself kindly. Work at a pace that feels right to you, where you are in your life. I just encourage you to show up and do things instead of doing nothing. Even doing a small thing is better than doing nothing. Now, if you're flat out exhausted, get some rest. But if you could seriously, this is when the timer on your phone comes in handy, is to set your timer for 5 whopping minutes. Even right now, how about this, okay? If it is 8:53 p.m. I almost said a.m. because I'm used to being in the morning. 8:53 p.m. Eastern time where I am. Beth, Destination Decluttered. Hi, how are you? Like my page, all that kind of stuff. I'm doing the math. We've got 7 minutes until I shut this off, get in my pajamas, and watch an episode of something with my husband on TV before I fall asleep. How about this? Right now, we can use this time together as a timer. Right now we've got, it just turned to 8:54. You've got 6 minutes. If you are saying, I should do something, practice this. If you want to declutter, I'm not forcing everybody. But if you're on the fence about something, if you're sitting down, stand up. If you're standing up, put your hand on something that's clutter and say, what can I do with this? Can I put something away? Between now and 9 o'clock, as soon as 9 o'clock hits and I turn off, you can stop. You can stop it. Notice, if you start to notice how much difference 5 minutes of decluttering can make in how you feel about where you are, you'll show up and do it a lot more often. I realized how much I grew up in such a cluttered kitchen that to me, having like a clear surface on the counters and not having stuff piled in the corner, to have just the bare minimum stuff on the table and being able to wipe the table after we've eaten and have it nice and clear, that feels wonderful to me. That stuff can be done in 5 minutes or less. So what can you do? Now it's 8:55. Spend 5 minutes right now, wherever you are. Maybe you don't even stand up. Maybe you just sit there and you put your hand out like a zombie and you put your hand on something and say, Is this where it's supposed to be? If the answer is no, can I put it where it's supposed to be? Yes. Use the time you have. This time we just went through, this past 55 minutes, we will never get those back. We will never get them back. That's the one thing we will never get back. So the sooner you can use your time to get it so you love how your life is looking, feeling, and functioning, the more you just spend your time in a life that looks and feels and functions like you want it to. Okay? Notice that. There we go. Erin just said, I just spent 53 minutes cleaning up around here. I am done. I love it. You know, kind of wipe your hands from it. Celebrate that win. Get yourself a drink of water. See, it's so funny. I brought my water in here and I didn't even drink it the whole time. Good stuff. Okay. You know, imagine that. Mara said, I unloaded the dishwasher today and it feels so good to have a clean sink. Yes, I did the same thing. I unloaded the dishwasher, and in our house, I do the unloading, and my husband, in theory, puts the dishes in the sink into the dishwasher. But I even started, before I was coming here, I put a couple of easy dishes in the dishwasher so there would be fewer of them in the sink. You know? Okay. And you know what? Hazel Eyes, 1954, I throw something away and said I will never use it, but then down the road, I need it. I want you to get curious. It will happen. You guys, it's happened to me. I think I did a TikTok video about it. It will happen. But think about how often it happens. It's very infrequent. It is very infrequent that you will do that. And if it does, you got to get clear about how often. When you look at something and you think you're going to get rid of it, ask yourself, when do I think I might need it again? Okay? So just notice that. All right, the other Katie Taylor, oh, not the Katie Taylor, but the other Katie, I kid. How do you approach purging things that you feel you will just buy again? Stuff you use? Ask yourself, do I think I'm going to buy this again? Have a conversation with yourself. Listen for your own answers. Why am I getting rid of this? Do I think I might buy it again? Am I going to use this? Why am I getting rid of it? Why would I buy it again if I got rid of it? Did it work for me the first time? Have a conversation with yourself. Okay? Have a conversation with yourself and listen for the answers and start to trust yourself and start to show up for yourself and stand up for yourself to say, I deserve to live in a home that looks exactly like I want it to and nobody else. Now, I know if you live with other people, you know, whatever, but if you're here, and typically, again, I hate to be like, you know, how big surprise, we live in a capitalist society that's going to encourage you to spend money on stuff because somebody's making money when you buy something. The other thing, too, is we live in a patriarchal society. So as somebody said earlier, are there any men on this? Very few, because this is supposed to be women's work. So why not embrace that and be like, okay, I'm going to make the house exactly how I want it to be. Mess with it. Okay, it's so funny. I say mess with it when I'm trying to get you to declutter, but you get, you know. There we go. Rosalind is saying, think of the space in your home as real estate. Prioritize space over things. It works. Okay, Mary Kathy, I hold on to the things to donate or sell, then never do. Should I just get rid of it? I don't say should, but you ask yourself, should you just get rid of it? You answer you. You already answered yourself. Allow yourself permission to do what your gut is telling you. Okay, Sharice is saying, I do this all the time too. All right, trusting yourself, saying what my gut is telling me. And I say gut, but I mean nervous system, heart, all the feels of you that mine happen to be located right here. Trust yourself that you're making decisions based on how you want to feel. How will you feel if you have less clutter? You'll probably feel better. Okay, how will you feel? I thought I was going to donate. I thought I was going to donate this and sell, but even just donating, if you think you're going to sell something and you didn't sell it, just donate it someplace. Don't throw stuff in the trash unless there's absolutely no other option. It's either gross stuff that, you know, can't be given away or recycled. Don't just pitch it in the trash. Donate it somewhere. Okay? There we go. Somebody said they collect space. That's awesome. Yes, you are enough. All right, so my clock just hit 9 o'clock. We did it. We did it. It was an evening TikTok live. I hope you found this helpful. As I said, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I usually do TikTok lives in the morning and the afternoon, but because you awesome people said, please show up at night, I have done so. Now, I have TikTok live scheduled next week. I don't know if I have any other evening ones. I think because next week we are having the Destination Decluttered members Zoom call. So if you want to do that, sign up for my Destination Decluttered email mailing list. It will be like this, only cooler because we get to talk as opposed to just typing and stuff. Okay, so do a couple of things. So thank you. I'm seeing a lot of people saying this was great. Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, I will keep on doing at least one nighttime one a week. I have to pace myself because I also get up wicked early to do coaching. What I want to offer to you is a couple of things before I go. Please, if you like what you hear, follow my TikTok page. If you think you have people in your life that could benefit from what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, share Destination Decluttered. The videos are on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. The best place to go is if they're on TikTok. This is where we get all the good stuff here. But also destinationdecluttered.com/join is the mailing list. Next Wednesday night, if you like if you like these nighttime TikTok lives, next Wednesday night, the 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, is the Destination Decluttered mailing list group Zoom call. It is free. If you like these, sign up for the mailing list. You're going to get invited to that. It's free. It's easy. It's just a cool thing. And yeah, I'm here to help you. I want you to know that you got this. If something bugs you about your clutter, you can do something about it. All right? Thank you for all the good wishes and rocking on. And I'm going to go, actually, I got food on my thing today when I was eating my dinner, so I'm going to go put this in the washing machine, get in my pajamas, watch some TV, go to bed. I'll see you all later. And you got this, okay? You can do this. I have every faith in you. All right? Bye.